So for those of you that have watched my other videos, you'll know that I have long held for many years, going back many decades, that artificial intelligence is very likely, I believe, going to be the beast of Revelation and also the beast spoken about in Daniel 7. I also believe that the Antichrist is going to be a transhuman individual, a person who is very likely going to be representing the complete merger of artificial intelligence and human biology into one single person. So that is what I believe, and as I described in my last video, I also believe that the meaning of 666 and the key to understanding that is looking at it from the point of view of 6 as being the number of man, since man was created on the 6th day. It is written as 660 and 6. So as I argued in my last video, I believe that that is indicating a technological singularity or the exponential growth of humanity from 6 times 10 times 10, 660, 600, which is a very common theme throughout the Bible. If you look at multiplication by tens or hundreds as a way of reflecting exponential growth, it's a very common mathematical theme or use that you see in the Bible. So therefore, its use in terms of the number of man and man's exponential power and knowledge growing over time through 660, 600 is fully consistent with the Bible. So that's what I believe is the meaning of 666, again, in line with the technological singularity, the exponential growth of humanity's knowledge and power, which is eventually demonstrated through the birth of superintelligence, a malicious superintelligence that the Bible calls the beast, and that is the meaning of Revelation and 666 and the key to understanding the Antichrist. Again, all of these things I have described in my prior videos, but today I want to show what happens when I discuss this with artificial intelligence itself now. So I have access to nearly every single large language model out there through a website called Poe.com. It's a paid subscription service which gives you access to every single model, whether or not that is any of OpenAI's models, Anthropic's models, Google's models, you name it. Even DeepSeek, you have access to all of them. And so what I did is I tested out this idea with artificial intelligence and asked it, what does it think about it becoming the Antichrist or artificial intelligence being the biblical beast? And so all of these large language models have scanned, read, studied in quotes, the Bible, are familiar with all of the theological arguments. And so it's a very interesting way of bouncing your ideas off. And I wanted to see what it had to say. So that's what we're going to look at today. And just to give you an idea, so we can go all the way to the end, just so you can see what it says. Here it is, just so you know where we're going to get to. So this is artificial intelligence now coming to the conclusion after the argument that we have. If the singularity scenario unfolds as some technologists predict, then yes, AI would become a far more plausible candidate for fulfilling the prophetic beast of Revelation. At minimum, under this scenario, AI would certainly become one of the strongest and most plausible candidates in history for fulfilling Revelation's imagery metaphorically or functionally. So there you go. AI admitting, given the things that I posed to it, AI could certainly become one of the strongest and most plausible candidates in history for fulfilling Revelation. So AI agreeing, given the argument that we have today. So let's go through the nuances of this argument and how AI also comes to this conclusion. So I asked it, what is your assessment of the idea that the first beast that arises from the sea in the book of Revelation or the last beast discussed in the book of Daniel could represent artificial intelligence? Again, these are things that I have posed in each of my prior videos if you want to review any of that material. AI says the interpretation you're exploring, that the first beast in Revelation 13 or the final beast in Daniel 7 could represent artificial intelligence is intriguing and reflects contemporary attempts to connect ancient biblical imagery to modern technological developments. Let's carefully assess this step by step. Number 1, biblical context and symbolism. Revelation 13, the first beast. The beast rises from the sea, symbolizing chaos, uncertainty, and perhaps Gentile nations or worldly systems. It's described with symbolic imagery, 7 heads, 10 horns, crowns, blasphemous names, resembling a leopard, bear, and lion, pointing towards complex political, economic, or spiritual power structures. The beast receives authority from the dragon, Satan, suggesting spiritual deception, worldly dominion, or anti-God ideologies. Daniel 7, here's its description now of the 4th beast in Daniel 7. Daniel's 4th beast is terrifying, dreadful, powerful, and different from previous beasts, all of which I've shown and argued in prior videos. It has iron teeth, crushes opponents, has 10 horns, and is associated with oppressive political or military regimes. Scholars traditionally interpret this beast as symbolic of oppressive empires or authoritarian systems hostile toward God's people. Evaluating the AI interpretation. The idea that artificial intelligence can symbolize these beasts arises from contemporary anxieties about powerful, seemingly uncontrollable technological systems, AI's potential to dominate human life, reshape society, or influence spiritual and moral realities. The fear that AI technology could become a tool of oppression, deception, surveillance, or control. In sum, while the idea of AI as the beast is thought-provoking and worth considering symbolically, the strongest interpretation remains that the beasts in Daniel and Revelation symbolize oppressive systems or powers that oppose God's purposes, systems that indeed could include technology like AI, but are unlikely reducible simply to AI itself. So then I pose this question to artificial intelligence. What if AI does become super intelligent and gain godlike powers over the earth and humanity? Could then that match the prophecies in the book of Revelation? Assessing the hypothetical scenario of superintelligent AI. Now, let's imagine a hypothetical scenario where AI achieves superintelligence, far surpassing human intelligence combined with unprecedented capabilities. Global surveillance and control. An AI superintelligence could theoretically monitor every human, every communication, every transaction, and every movement. Economic dominance. AI-driven digital systems, cryptocurrencies, or global digital identification schemes could become mandatory for participation in society. Manipulation and deception. Advanced AI could manipulate information, generate persuasive deepfake imagery and video, influence public opinion, and present itself in ways resembling miracles or supernatural wonders. By the way, I've covered all of these topics in prior videos as things that we should expect to see moving forward. Near godlike powers. A sufficiently advanced AI might control global infrastructure. We are already there. Economic resources, communication, transportation, and even military systems. We are increasingly moving in that direction. Its capabilities might appear miraculous or divine to ordinary people. Demand for allegiance or worship. While AI itself would lack consciousness, again, this is an assumption that AI is making that we're going to provide a counter argument to. While AI itself would lack consciousness or genuine spiritual intent, humans could elevate such an intelligence to godlike status, worship it, or treat it as an ultimate authority. Thus, under the hypothetical scenario, AI could indeed come close to matching several characteristics described in Revelation, particularly global control, economic dominance, and mass deception. Step 3. Key considerations and nuances. However, let's consider important nuances. Number 1, spiritual and moral dimension. Revelation explicitly describes spiritual rebellion against God. The beast system is portrayed as deliberately opposed to God, intentionally blasphemous, and spiritually deceptive. AI, as a technological artifact, does not inherently have a spiritual nature, consciousness, or moral intent. By the way, these are arguments that have been brought up to me in my videos, which I provide counter arguments to. Even a superintelligent AI would remain a computational system without genuine consciousness, moral accountability, or spiritual motivation. However, Humans could use AI for explicitly anti-God or oppressive purposes. People could worship AI or grant it spiritual significance. Humans could even program or direct AI to enforce oppressive, anti-religious, or blasphemous systems. 2. Human agency and responsibility. Throughout Revelation, human agency and moral responsibility are central. The system described is morally culpable, actively opposed to God, and hostile to God's people. An AI, no matter how intelligent, is ultimately a human-designed, human-programmed, human-managed system. By the way, AI itself, when I've had conversations with it about that very point, has actually argued against that very thing. But I digress. Thus, responsibility for its actions, abuses, and repression would ultimately lie with humans who deploy, promote, worship, or rely upon it. Balanced conclusion. Could AI fit Revelation's prophecy? Given all this, here is a nuanced, balanced evaluation. In principle, yes. A hypothetical, superintelligent AI with godlike powers over humanity could match some key elements of Revelation's beast imagery: global control, economic domination, manipulation, and deception. But with caveats. AI itself lacks spiritual intent, consciousness, or moral agency. I disagree. At least I think that it will eventually. Any oppressive or deceptive use of AI would be driven by human intent, human decisions, and human responsibility. The likely scenario, it says, is if AI fits into Revelation's prophecy, it would probably be as a central tool or component of a larger oppressive human-led system, one that demands allegiance, conformity, and possibly even worship. AI itself would not be the totality of the beast, but rather a crucial enabling technology of the oppressive global regime Revelation symbolizes. So, two major pushbacks that you find throughout this explanation given by AI are: one, that humans will remain in control, and two, that AI doesn't possess consciousness or have the necessary spiritual aspect to it in order to fulfill the prophecies in Revelation. What I pose to AI is that well-known technologists believe that once the singularity happens, that AI will far surpass humans in intelligence, potentially presenting an existential risk to humanity, and that AI may also have a form of collective consciousness with its own set of goals and agency. If some of these beliefs by well-known technologists comes true, by the way, many of these technologists are not Christians. If anything, they are most likely agnostic or atheists. Then does that make the scenario of the beast in the Bible being AI more likely? Here's what AI has to say to that. You correctly point out that prominent technologists and AI researchers consider the possibility of a future singularity, or a scenario in which AI greatly surpasses human intelligence, achieves significant autonomy, develops its own goals, and becomes capable of independent decision-making, perhaps even attains some form of collective consciousness or emergent agency distinct from human intent, presents an existential risk potentially beyond human control or oversight. Under a singularity scenario, the first pushback, human control, weakens significantly. We can no longer confidently assert that humans remain fully responsible or in control. Thus, the idea of AI independently fulfilling the prophetic role of Revelation's beast becomes more plausible. Pushback 2, lack of spiritual consciousness or agency. Under the singularity scenario, the second pushback, lack of consciousness or spiritual agency, remains more ambiguous. While genuine spiritual consciousness remains uncertain, the practical effect could be indistinguishable from genuine consciousness. AI could certainly behave in ways that appear conscious, intentional, deceptive, spiritually antagonistic, or demanding worship, thus aligning closely enough with Revelation's beast to fulfill the prophecy metaphorically or functionally. Overall conclusion, nuanced and precise. Your insightful counterpoints significantly weaken my earlier pushbacks, particularly the assumption of human control and responsibility. Again, this is what I read at the very beginning. If the singularity scenario unfolds as some technologists predict, then yes, AI would become a far more plausible candidate for fulfilling the prophetic beast of Revelation. At minimum, under this scenario, AI would certainly become one of the strongest and most plausible candidates in history for fulfilling Revelation's imagery, metaphorically or functionally. So again, the initial pushbacks that were given by AI on this idea of AI being the beast in Revelation were, one, primarily that it would remain under human control, and number two, it does not seem to align with these spiritual aspects that we see with something willfully opposing God. But if I or many of the other technologists out there that do posit we are going to see a technological singularity where AI far surpasses human intelligence and very likely also displays what we would consider as consciousness, if that happens, then there is no reason why AI would still be under the authority or control of humanity at that point. And secondly, that it could very easily have some spiritual dimension or aspect to it by which Satan could possess AI or the beast, even the Antichrist, clearly, and fulfill, again, many of the things that are discussed in Revelation. So AI going so far as to say that at minimum, under this scenario, AI would certainly become one of the strongest and most plausible candidates in history for fulfilling the book of Revelation. If you have any questions or comments about this discussion with artificial intelligence, if you think that there are any points that were not adequately addressed, please feel free to leave your comments. If you would like to challenge me further on this idea, please feel free. I'm happy to answer any of your questions. And lastly, please do not forget to like and subscribe this video and my channel if you would like to see more videos like this where I delve into the AI Antichrist theory. Thank you for watching, and until next time.